In my work, I study the politics of biomedical research. A lot of my work is focused, especially recently, on questions of inequality. In looking at the kinds of claims that lay people make, one of the things I've been interested in is how biomedical research has changed in recent years in order to focus on groups that previously have been left out or have been underrepresented. I was at Berkeley in the late 1980s, but I was also living in San Francisco at a time when that city was devastated by an epidemic, by the AIDS epidemic. And I always felt that sociology was a field that should be paying attention to what's actually happening in the world. And in my case, this was happening very directly around me. And I felt that the way that I could contribute would be to focus in some way on this concern that was so immediate, so present, and at that particular time seemed so bleak and unsolvable.
His first book, called Impure Science, was about AIDS research into new medicines for HIV/AIDS. And what he showed was that the way in which these medicines were created, where the research was done, was not pure kind of ivory tower science. It was pushed to an important degree by activists, AIDS activists in the community, who were demanding that, for example, clinical trials of new AIDS drugs not be restricted to narrow groups like the scientists wanted, but that be made more widely available to the public that was afflicted with this.
Some of my more recent work has focused on the way in which particularly women, racial and ethnic minorities, and children and the elderly have argued that clinical research has not adequately focused on them, and have called for more attention to the way that groups or individuals differ and how biomedicine can pay attention to that. I think what keeps me focused on this research and what makes me want to continue doing work in this area is the incredible importance of biomedicine in the world today, and yet all of the controversy that swirls around it. I mean, every time you open a newspaper, it seems that there's some new debate about the field of health or about biomedical research. The latest study says this or says that. And I find these controversies endlessly fascinating, but I also think that they have tremendous real-world implications for all of us who consume the medications or go to the doctor or have to worry about just how it is that they know what they know.
We hired him because we were trying to build up the just newly established science studies program. This is an interdisciplinary program that includes sociology, history, philosophy, communications, and it's a highly innovative kind of development at UCSD, and now is considered one of the best such departments in the country. And so Steve Epstein was there almost from the beginning, and is a major factor in why this is considered now one of the best such interdisciplinary programs in the country.
With my research, a lot of it has a historical sensibility to it, and so I try to tell a story, but also to understand how it is that we've come to the place where we are as a society, and by tracing that pathway, by revealing the history in terms of the particular choices that people and groups have made along the way, to also open up the question of how things could be different. I think ultimately that's what I want to do. It's not so much that I have a particular program or platform that I myself am trying to put forward, but I want to create the possibility so that people can have those conversations and can think for themselves, how could things be different?